here we have Mateus. What's up?
What's up, guys?
Mateus, how we doing? You
Doing
pouring
great.
a healthy glass of water or something?
Water here.
Let's go. Oh, that looked like tequila. Are you
No,
sure,
yeah.
Mateus? We're not. It is Friday,
It is Friday, actually.
and you guys have 32,000 users, almost 33,000. So
Yes.
something to celebrate about, right?
100%. Thanks for having me on, and yeah, big fan of the show. Big happy to be, supporting you guys, and excited to chat about everything.
Sweet,
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
And Josh, I'll let you take over screen too whenever. I know they have some cool demos and stuff. But Mateus, you guys have been doing a lot here. I think the mobile app's been your biggest recent forthcoming. Maybe just give us some insight there. We see FOMO is like blowing up. Yeah, so some thoughts from the team and yourself on the mobile app.
It's going incredibly well. Honestly, off to an incredibly hot start. Definitely, we had high expectations, but I would say they're definitely exceeding our expectations. As you can see on the screen, over 30,000 users on the app. I think the part that we're incredibly excited about is, one, the overall market opportunity here is massive. I think on-chain volumes just continue to grow. And I think we're offering a Robinhood-like experience for trading on-chain. And the second thing that we're really excited about is the feedback from the community in terms of users winning trades more often using the product. And it really comes down to where we put majority of our focus, which is on our discovery algorithm. I think this cycle in particular, I had tweeted about it yesterday. What's been so challenging is this has probably been the noisiest cycle because of all the launch pads, and that's not going to change. More assets are going to come on chain. It's not just going to be launch pads. It's going to be RWAs, tokenized equities. We're already seeing that now. And we think the biggest opportunity to solve is to create the best end-to-end discovery experience for users. And if you leverage the right tools, you're using the right discovery source, you will make better decisions. And that should translate into higher win rates, more profitable trades. And that's what we're building here with MOBY app. So on the Whale Watch alert account, we now have a feed that every once in a while it'll tweet wins from our audience, and we're about to have to put rate limits on it because it's tweeting often, which is just a great problem.
People get sick of winning so much that
you're gonna win so much, you're gonna get tired of winning.
Yeah. Hey, so I gotta ask, because one of the reasons I loved working with you is just the difference from Dex Screener, and Dex Screener kind of dominated the screener space for a while, and I hated that it was basically feeding meme coin promoters, and it kind of sucked from that perspective where people just wanted to trade like real stuff, and it felt like you couldn't. Give us maybe that founding story. Is MOBY a kind of response to Dex Screener? Like, where did you come up with the idea of like, I'm going to start a screener and do this better, and then come up with this unique algorithm and maybe tell us how that algorithm works?
Yeah, I'll give you the quick backstory as to how we got here. So it all started when we launched Whale Watch Alert, which it's one of the fastest growing meme coin, initially a meme coin account on X, and the X team actually reached out to us and said they had never seen a crypto account leveraging their API grow this quickly.
Wow.
And the initial idea was Whale Watch was just a feed that we had within the Acid Dash app, because users were basically telling us, look, we're having issues discovering coins. There's so many new launches. So we started with Whale Watch, and the key takeaway from users from like the initial release was, okay, discovery is a massive problem, and you're helping us solve this. And that's when we just dove deep and said, okay, well, we're tracking this on-chain data. How can we start building algorithms around this to offer better signal from the data that we're receiving? And that's where we spent months of our time fine-tuning and tweaking the algo to leverage the on-chain data that we were collecting to find opportunities quicker and reflect that to our users. And that ended up leading to more user demand, that they wanted a full-blown discovery experience with this data set that we were building. And thanks to our community again, they suggested initially, I would love to basically be able to see this in a Dex Screener type table. And that was a huge motivation behind the release of MOBY Screener initially, was we have very powerful data. our users are finding opportunities and runners quicker with this data. Let's present it in a trending algorithm type format. And that trending algorithm that we built is incredibly powerful. I'm biased, but you can look on Twitter. People say that if you're in Solana, it's probably the best one. I tend to agree. And it's simply because we're leveraging smart money, thousands of wallets, analyzing them every second to reflect what they are trading. And we take, tons of different factors into account as to what needs to happen for us to rank a coin and how it gets ranked. So we released a MOBY screener, and in that process, we had learned a lot about what people didn't like about Dex Screener. The fact that if you upgrade to a banner, somebody could buy it after you and change it to a drainer link, which is like a very common thing. But the other issue is that it's very, very pay to play, right? So I think on one side, the metrics that they use are very easy to gain metrics, right? Like you have all of these, like there's literally businesses where you can pay somebody and they'll rank you #1 on Dex Screener, right? They'll turn on fake volume bots, they'll do, all these on-chain shenanigans, and they'll get you to the top of Dex Screener. The second thing is you could literally pay with the boost to get yourself in the top 5, the top 10. And if you're a user and you're using that as a discovery source and you're new or you're not familiar, a lot of times like those are really, really bad, outcomes for users. And I think we just introduced an incredibly new approach that put the community first, where our trending algorithm is based on our smart money analytics and our smart money data sets that cannot be gamed, right? These are highly profitable wallets that have been, seasoned in the space, and we're constantly analyzing and adjusting those wallets. That activity is the main driver in our trending ranks. And then the second thing is creating a more community first upgrade process where 50% goes to buying back MOBY. The MOBY users on the platform own MOBY, and it creates that flywheel, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. And of course, once MOBY Screener came out, the next big request was we want this on mobile. And on the mobile side, I think from what we've been hearing from users, they love the powerful data, the trending, the smart money, the active DCAs, the incredibly clean UI, the one tap to buy, powered by Jupiter Ultra. So you're getting, best in class pricing, best in class MEV protection, so on and so forth. Wallets powered by Privy, right? So owned by Stripe. So we basically realized when users wanted the mobile app that we could build this from the ground up to have the best end-to-end discovery and trading experience possible. And that's why, we did it with an entirely new app, right? It's like we didn't take this and try to implement it into AcidDash. We basically, from the ground up, built a system that's an incredibly strong foundation. And I think that's why we're seeing so many users gravitate towards the product and having such a good experience. Is it was built from day one till now to be the best way to discover and trade assets on Solana on your phone.
Mateus, I want to talk about timing real quick because we're seeing this wave of migration to mobile, something which I feel like in the past was just, at least it came out of the blue for me. I never expected it. When it comes to how the AcidDash team was thinking about this and developing the mobile app, how long have you guys been in development of this mobile app, and why did you choose to build it? It seems like you came in right at the best time.
Yeah, so for us, I think another strategic advantage on our side is we've been building mobile apps in crypto with AcidDash since 2022. So we've learned a ton in that process, and I feel what your experience on MOBY is a lot of those learnings packed into this brand new product, right? Incredibly optimized, fast, easy to use, clean UI. So for us, our core competency is mobile. So it was a no-brainer for us to offer this in mobile version. MobyScreener.com made sense first for web, but then be able to offer this on mobile, I think, was very important.
Sweet. I want to talk about your relationship with Pump Fun. You guys were just featured, and let me pull that up real quick. Congratulations on that. You guys were just featured on the Pump Spotlight account, which I can pull up. What does the relationship with Pump Fun look like? You guys initially were planning a migration. You've since stepped back from that and decided to stay on Pump Fun. Yeah, maybe what does it look like from the team perspective? How's that relationship, etc.?
Yeah, it's great. So I think they're doing a lot of really interesting stuff on ICM that we're really excited about. It came together really quickly. So shout out ICM Run and Mercy and the whole squad over there. Yeah. Initially at the time when we wanted to do the migration, it seemed like Pump was really going in the creator and like meme meta, like that was going to be their core focus.
Yeah.
And as an ICM coin, we didn't really feel that was the direction they were going to go with the platform, right? And we have a great relationship with the Bonk guys. Love the Bonk guys, great people, good vibes all around. Have known them for forever. But initially at that time, we felt they weren't going to put a huge focus on ICM. And one of the things that changed is kind of as time started to move forward, we started to learn more about their ICM ambitions, and we're really excited about that, right? Because I feel like we're an OG coin on Pump. We have like a very clear ICM model with 50% of fees across MOBY Mobile and MOBY Screener going to buying back MOBY token, and we believe ICM is the future of on-chain, right? Like we think startups, products, they're all going to take this ICM model, and we're really excited about that. So I think one part is finding out that Pump was going to move into ICM, and they have a great team, a fantastic marketing arm. We thought there was a massive opportunity for us, and they also were really intent on us staying, and I think that's kind of reflected in the spotlight post, right? They also understand the value that we bring from an ICM perspective. So I think there was definitely synergies there. So that was one piece of new information that came out, after the fact. The second part of this also played a huge role is we listened to our community, and we were getting when migration, how migration is going to work, what day, FAQs, literally, 24/7. And as we started to look more into how the migration was actually going to take place, we didn't feel like there was a way for us to do it that would not introduce complexities for the community. And for us, like that ended up becoming a non-starter, right? So that also played like a tremendous role. Is we don't want to put our community in a bad spot. And as we learn more about the dynamics, it's difficult to do, right? Users have to take an action. There's a time-based component, and we kind of saw what happened with the Believe migration, right? Like there's just a lot of people who missed the date.
Mm-hmm.
So when you accounted for that component as well, plus Pump making a huge push into ICM, it made a ton of sense for us to stay. And I'm really happy because I think it worked out great, right? We're working, closely with the Pump team. They have a great squad, Reigns, Revenge, the Shark Guy, he's awesome. So they have a great squad, and I really, appreciate, how they're starting to put a spotlight on us and what we're doing. So I think everything ended up working out perfectly, right? Pump's doing ICM, MOBY's part of their ICM movement, and then users did not need to go through the migration process, which I think, again, to highlight one of the key issues there is the time-based component. And we kind of saw that with the Believe thing. People travel, you have a busy work week, you end up missing the migration, and then you're penalized. And
yeah,
for us, like it's just unfair to users, and we didn't want to put people in that position.
I totally agree. You guys are leaning into this ICM movement heavily, which is interesting coming from, I think your success really stemmed from meme coins originally. I guess when I think about the team, and when you think about the Asset Dash and MOBY Screener team, how are you guys looking at ICM? You guys implemented X stocks. You guys have an ICM tab in the MOBY app. How are you guys thinking about ICM?
So I believe that it's going to be the one of the main verticals for founders, moving forward, right? I think we got to this position with MOBY Screener and the MOBY app. And I think a big part of that was through having the MOBY token out on the market. Because when people hold the token, when users of your product hold the token, they have vested incentive in giving you incredibly quality feedback. And they help drive the product roadmap. And I think tying that together is incredibly important. And if you're building a product and you're heavily focused on what your community wants to see in that product, I think adding the token component just really creates aligned incentives, right? And that's what our vision is for ICM, and how we implement it with MOBY is as the product grows, as we continue to take market share in Solana trading, that success should tie back to the token through the flywheels and the buybacks that we're implementing with the tokenomics behind MOBY. And already in this first week, we haven't shared this publicly, so this is kind of new, but since the app release next week, we've already stealthily bought back about 0.5% of the supply.
Nice.
and we're gonna have like public dashboards
in a week
since the release last Monday.
Oof.
I was going to ask actually about what kind of what your revenues were over across, like, do you mind breaking it down kind of by segment? Because I don't think people might have an idea of what like Desk Screener was making, which they were making tons of money. So you're going to make tons of money theoretically.
Yeah. And I'd love to hear the TAM too, if you have an idea on that.
Like how big you think it could get.
So I'll break it down into like kind of two parts. So one, we're going to release public dashboards. We're going to do that strategically. But the buybacks have already started. So those dashboards will be out for sure before the end of the year. The TAM is massive. You have one TAM, I guess like the smaller TAM is just the deck screener TAM. And they have months where they do 1.5 mil plus in upgrades. The big TAM and what we're really excited about and what we're seeing with the MOBY mobile app is the swap TAM is massive. You still have Phantom still doing $300,000, $400,000 a day in trading fees. And we think we have an opportunity to make the MOBY app the number one way to trade Solana tokens on mobile. And we have ambitions to go multi-chain as well. But right now our focus is to dominate on Sol. So in terms of that, if you even just take the Phantom number, right, it's quite large. So for us, the North Star now is like very straightforward, make MOBY mobile the number one way to trade Solana tokens on mobile and go after the millions of dollars in fees that are being generated every day across all these different applications.
Mateus, how do you guys think about going multi-chain? We see like some very good feedback, I think primarily from FOMO about their multi-chain features and just not having to go and swap and do that tedious, time-consuming tasks. Like you said, you're just Solana focused right now. How do you guys think about going multi-chain and what does that unlock for you guys? How far out is that, et cetera?
Yeah, so I think we are exploring it. I think you will see another chain before the end of the year. Pretty confident in that. For us, it's really just listening to our community and figuring out where they want to trade. But we have already started the trending algo whale watch smart money development on another chain. Not going to share the chain now, but we're going to do planning on doing a collab announcement later this month. So yeah, I think in general, it's always turns back to our community. If they want to trade in another place, we want to be able to offer that. And I do think you're going to have multiple token ecosystems that do well. So we want to make sure that we support the ones that are doing well.
I guess on that future looking note, you guys, are talking to the community, you have plans to go multi-chain. What are you maybe most excited about that's coming? And what would you say the current app is lacking and you're excited to improve upon?
So we have this is honestly a blessing. I'm really happy about this. We have a very specific list of features that have been given to us by the community that they want to see. And I'm excited to go down that list and execute on all of them. So an example of that is candlestick charts. Candlestick charts will be live in the app next week. Buys and sell on the chart, that'll be live in the app next week. So, the first mission is we want to go through this list that have been given to the community. We actually have a public feedback board where community members send feedback in Telegram or on Twitter. And what we do is once we add it to our dev roadmap, we add it to this public board so you can actually track our progress. That's something that we're doing new with the MOBY app that I'm really excited about. So, first and foremost is deliver on the features that the community wants. What I'm really excited about is the general feedback and the response and the numbers that we're seeing is people are migrating their trading over to MOBY. And I think it's the clean UI, the seamless trading, but I think a big part of it is the discovery. People are tired of being on these other platforms where they're finding out about these potential runners way too late. And as more assets get on chain, that's only going to get more convoluted and difficult on these other platforms. I think we have a very streamlined solution to put in front of you the coins that are worth looking into. And I've been investing in this space since 2016. I think this cycle is incredibly noisy because of all the new token launches. The most important thing before making a trade is your starting point and the initial points that you're looking at before you decide to allocate. So if you're on another platform that's showing you a list of 20 coins and 90% of those coins is complete noise, you're already thrown off.
Yeah.
What's great about MOBY is it's very precise, it's very select. And when you see those coins, like that is a great place to start your journey and come up with your own thesis as to why you should invest or not. But we're giving you early signals into what's worth looking into. So goal now is, again, as I said before, the market share for Solana token trading on mobile is massive, and we want to break into the top 3 quickly. And if we do, and when we do, there's a massive TAM there of fees that will be generated, and we'll go to buy back MOBY and really kickstart this flywheel. But for a 2-week-old product, the start has been fantastic.
And you've probably made a compelling argument for this already, but how do you get sticky capital coming onto your app? How do you get people to stay and spend money with you guys?
So again, the numbers we're seeing are incredibly strong. When people just deposit and swap, they're incredibly sticky. Again, only 2 weeks, but DAU, MAU there is better than those peak numbers that people talk about, like Tinder and things like that. And I think it's because once you come onto the app and you start doing your trading there, and you kind of compare it to where you're trading in the past, you're seeing better results. You're having a better experience. And the other thing too is we have a really good rewards experience too. I think people were tired of points programs because a lot of projects actually just never gave the token. Our reward program, not only do we have lower fees than a lot of our competitors, most of our competitors, we have 20 to 30% cash back that's delivered to you in MOBY to your progress bar, and 30% referral fees. So as you're trading and using the product, you're growing your rewards at the same time, and your rewards are in MOBY, and that also creates a lot of aligned incentive with the community as well. So I think we've really focused on making sure the discovery was best in class, making sure the wallet and trading was best in class, and to do that, we partnered with the 2 best companies in the space, and then making a rewards program that was simple, straightforward, and very rewarding. So I think we kind of checked all those boxes, and I think that's a big reason why people are having such a great time.
The 50% buybacks, are you buying that MOBY and burning it? Are you buying that and holding it in treasury, or are you buying it and using it for rewards? What's the use case for the MOBY bought back?
Great question. So 2 sources now, treasury and rewards. So those are the 2 sources for the buyback components at the moment. And obviously, as we scale and as we grow, we can add new variations there, whether it's burn, whether it's stake. Right now, again, that first North Star is get us into the top 3 of market share, and that opens up a ton of optionality for us.
So you talk about some of those buybacks going to rewards. You have the progress bar and app. There's a lot of questions about this. Is the progress bar finalized? How can we continue to own MOBY? And what do you think when people tell you, hey, well, when people get to claim this MOBY, it's just going to cause additional sell pressure?
So one of the reasons we did the progress bar to 100K is we basically baked into the math where the buybacks through the volume generation would offset reward claims tremendously. So there would be more power in the buybacks than there would be in reward distribution. So I think that's kind of the first thing and why we did it at the 100K is it rewards sticky loyalty. But as users are seeing, we're doing airdrop codes, we're doing a ton of initiatives to help you grow your progress bar. And we have another idea that we're cooking up that is on the trading side that would allow you to actually grow the progress bar even quicker with certain types of trades. It's something that we're cooking up behind the scenes. But yeah, the progress bar model, it aligns incentives and then rewards loyal users. But also too, when you get the reward, it's much more meaningful. So we have done reward programs in the past on Acid Dash where people will get $5, $10 rewards and it wouldn't really move the needle. What's good about this MOBY reward program is, when you get to the end of your progress bar, which you will, right? If you're trading on the app, if you're inviting friends, if you're using the product, you're going to get to the end of the progress bar. When you get there, it's going to be a juicy, 1K, 2K type reward, right? And then again, the system allows us to ensure that through the buybacks are far greater and more powerful. But again, that further aligns the whole system because it's all tied to MOBY. Right? Because those buybacks, MOBY doing well, so on and so forth, is also growing the value of your progress bar.
That makes sense. I want to talk about piercing into mainstream. You have the product, you have the vision, you have the team, you have what you need. How do you pierce into mainstream? How do you get that attention?
Yeah, so I think step 1 is get the Solana market, right? Which in itself is proven to be incredibly valuable. Step 2, if you go to our Twitter, we posted a video today about pre-stocks. So this is kind of almost alluding to where we see the longer term vision of this going. And pre-stocks retweeted it. So shout out to them for the cross promo. The longer term vision we see here is all assets are moving on chain. And you can actually build a diversified portfolio on MOBY today. And we did a tweet yesterday in the morning, if you want to pull that one up as well, that shows, it's a video like this, but it shows the user in the video acquiring Robinhood stock, Bitcoin, meme coins, and gold all in the same video, right? So as
You
more
said you posted
assets,
that today?
that was yesterday. I think scroll down a little more. Yesterday was an active day. A lot of tweets.
Okay. Yeah,
Pump
you
on
guys pump
Spotlight.
them out.
Yeah. It's that one. Yeah. Right.
This one.
Yeah.
So much motion on the timeline. I'm looking for tweets and just trying to find it.
It's like 7 a day, dude.
Yeah.
But this video is powerful, right? Like if you look at this video, you know, you're in the MOBY app today, you're buying Robinhood stock, right? They just bought Troll before that. You're buying MOBY, of course. You're, you know, buying Bitcoin, you're buying gold. This is all in the app right now. And I think in a year, at the pace that things are currently going, you will be able to build a completely diversified portfolio just through on-chain assets on Solana. And that's the power of what we're offering in the app now and why it has that Robinhood on-chain feel, right? You have all of that, you know, whether it's meme coins, tokens, ICM, stocks, OpenAI, SpaceX, like all that's available in the app today. And I think that's only going to grow. What we're really excited about is when that RWA stuff really takes off, applying that same smart money and trending algo that we have to these real world assets. And a phrase that I always go back to is like people listen to or something that resonates with people in terms of our brand is, you know, Bonk Whale bought this coin, right? Or there's literally people who have sold merch that are literally screenshots from the Whale Watch account, right? But where I see this going is, you know, a Tesla whale of tokenized Tesla is buying a new ICM token that just launched, you know, a few hours ago, right? Like that's kind of where we see this going. And that's when like this big capital comes on chain, they're trading the RWAs. But right now we have the foundation to scale to that when it does eventually arrive.
Not to be repetitive because you kind of just covered it, but broader grand vision for the app. And again, you just kind of went over this stuff, but it goes further than Solana. It goes further than just, you know, you said stocks, you mentioned all that stuff. So what's your grand vision here with what you're building?
Grand vision will be Robinhood on chain. And I think the key thing that makes us different or stand out is the fact that being that it's on chain, our discovery algorithms that we're building, right? So you have the Robinhood on chain component, being that you can buy any asset as RWAs and all that comes on chain. But for us, where we put a lot of our time and focus is on our discovery algorithm, and we want to be the best place to discover assets first and discover opportunities first. And I think that ends up being the powerful 1-2 punch, right? In Web 2, all these older applications, you know, it's not on chain, right? It's like Citadel and all these guys behind the scenes that are actually like moving the needle here. And on chain, everything's on the blockchain. We've built tech to read the blockchain and help you analyze and discover opportunities based on the data that we're receiving. We present that in a simple UI. So you have that Robinhood on-chain component where it's simplicity, you know, any asset, so on and so forth, but it's powered by our smart money tech that's actually making you a better investor. And like the way I think about it, you know, in my head is like, if you want to be the best trader, if you want to be the best investor, you need like the best car to get you to your destination. I feel like that's what we offer with the product.
There's this tweet here with Troll where I guess folks that hold Troll can go in, enter a code and get MOBY airdrop. Can you just walk people through, because I'm sure they might hold Troll? I see USDUC. Yeah. Where are the other airdrop tokens that you were collabing with? I'm trying to see if I can find them.
So we started a new series called Community Drops. We're going to do one per week where we're going to partner with different communities, and holders in those communities can go to our link. It's airdrop.mobyscreener.com and claim a MOBY airdrop code that they can instantly enter in the app that goes straight to their progress bar. And the idea behind the campaign is, one, we want to build a product that works for everybody in the ecosystem. But we also want to reward holding. I think we've kind of moved away from that. So this is a cool way for us to partner with projects. And, you know, shout out Troll, shout out USDUC. You know, they both collabed on this and shared, and, you know, it's really exciting.
I got to read this user's comment. I got liquidated on perps last week. RIP Pepe. Sorry, buddy. Never touching perps again. Instead, I've been using the MOBY app only, and I've been making good money to get back on my feet.
Let's go.
W's in the chat. I
He
love
messaged
it.
me the other day actually, so shout out to you. He
Yeah.
We love it,
asked for some
Pepe.
advice.
Yeah, super excited to hear you're making money. Sorry about the loss that happened on the Perps platform,
Yeah.
but super excited that you're making money on the MOBY app. That's exactly what we want to see. We want to see people doing well, and also too for most traders, I would say chill, right? Perps are definitely like a very advanced tool, so I love to see that that user in particular was able to move over to the MOBY app and is having success. So that's awesome.
On that note, are you guys interested in integrating perps to the MOBY app at some point?
We've
To
gotten
the dismay of Pepe.
We've gotten requests for it. We are very much focused on Spot. I think Spot works best for most users, and at the end of the day, like, we're building the app to help you make money. And
Gotta protect Pepe here.
yeah,
Mateus.
it's also perps are more advanced. There's
Yeah.
a lot more things that look at October 10th, right? You could have been doing everything right that day and still gotten really screwed. So I think Spot, there's a lot of opportunity in the spot markets. There's a lot of opportunity in spot assets on chain, and we want to dominate that and give our users the best experience through that.
Yeah, I want to actually just touch on your ICM tag that you have. Can you talk about kind of how you see this, building out? We had Soar on yesterday, which dropped their first project, CPT, and we had like over 10,000 viewers. It was wild. So a lot of people saw the MOBY whale popping out of the bar at the bottom. But yeah, how do you think of kind of the ICM space? Is it just pump, or do you see expanding out to Soar? I know you already have kind of Believe in there, and you can kind of toggle by eco. But in terms of what that's curated on the ICM tab, how do you think about that?
Yeah, so we definitely will expand it for sure, and we have a lot of plans there, right? We think I don't want to leak too much alpha as to what we have planned there, but at the end of the day,
Come on, Mateus, you start talking about it, you got to finish.
Yeah, we want to make it very clear and give you the best data possible for you to make the best investing decision possible. So you can envision a world where the ICM pages and the stock pages and the VC token pages, those market detail pages look a bit different, and provide more data and context to those coins. But for sure, like, the end goal is give you the most powerful resources to help you make the best investing decision possible. So all of that will definitely expand.
Totally, and we want to definitely tap into that because that's what our show is definitely around. I maybe kind of in this line of thinking, like, you have the prediction market tab. Is that kind of what you're thinking around for ICM? Is something more geared? Like, is there some nuances to ICM that adds different data, kind of like how you had to build like almost a separate interface for prediction markets?
Yeah, I think on ICM, things like revenue, things like the project buybacks, the user growth, all of those are data sets that would be important on an ICM page. So those are all things that we're thinking about. And yeah, I think over time, every asset page will be more specific to the nature of the token, right? And that's one of the things that we're definitely focused on.
Cool. And I think Dom pulled up this tweet. We didn't have it on screen the first time. It was just the troll one. Is there any further call to action here for the community drop series, or do we cover any other communities that you can leak joining this program?
Yeah, so we're doing one next week, and that it's going to actually be an NFT one. So we have NFT communities that are going to be involved in that. And then our goal is to just do one per week. So I definitely want to do one with the ICM community as well. Get like a ton of leading ICM.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll do one for that group. But yeah, the idea is one per week, probably until the end of the year.
That's alpha, guys. If so, maybe go accumulate. Not financial advice. Go get some ICM.
Mercy's like, yo, don't leak. No, kidding. I love it.
Sweet. What about? I don't think we even asked, so I just have to. What about the team? How many people do you guys have at Asset Dash working on this thing?
10 people.
Nice.
Yeah.
What descriptions?
Yeah. So it's about half engineers and then half marketing, community support. One thing I'm really proud of that we put a big focus on that I feel like a lot of other apps don't is we actually have 24/5 live customer support during the weekdays, and then on the weekends we have support from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So that's, like, I think something that makes us very different is that's always been a big importance to us. If you're using our product and you reach out and you have a question or you have a support issue, we want to make sure that you can get in contact with the team ASAP. And then, of course, like most of the team works the entire weekend regardless. We have dedicated members of the team who are hyper focused on support. We have a live chat in the app. We have our Telegram channel. So yeah, that's something that's really important to us.
Yeah, no customer service on Phantom, eh? So there you go.
No customer service for most crypto products.
Yeah,
I've
like
actually
most
noticed.
crypto products.
Yeah, but no, I think there's a big market. I think I've seen so many people unhappy with Dex Screener and their lack of innovation there. And I think people are looking for somewhere to go, right? And so if you guys can hit the nail on the head here and crack this, like you said, there's a massive addressable market there. So I don't know, Josh. I think that kind of covers all my questions. And unless you have anything, I think.
Yeah, I got a couple more here. So maybe we'll get into Pepe here. What's the best way to give feedback on the app via the app feedback or Telegram?
Both work. So if you want to give feedback in the app, you go to settings and we have live customer support there. Just go to the get support tab, and then Telegram as well works. So we have team members in both channels and everything gets circulated to the same place for our team channels. So both those avenues work well.
Awesome. And I see a tweet here that you retweeted from Austin Barrick, who is
Great guy.
partner at Relay. Do you have like liquid token funds that own MOBY? Like what's kind of like your holder mix? Is any notable investors or something in the MOBY? Like what's your funding background too? Is it just purely bootstrapped through token, or is there other funding sources you have?
Yeah, so shout out Austin, great guy. If you have an opportunity to work with Austin, you should. He's awesome. He's a holder. He has a great fund. We have a few other liquid funds that are involved that haven't announced yet. I think they'll probably get the word out over the next month or so. Our background, we raised a bit of capital in like 2022. But we've found ways to generate money. And a lot of that has been through the swap fees, the pro upgrades, so on and so forth. So we're in a great financial spot in that regard. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of like the overall TAM. The TAM here is pretty massive. In terms of the MOBY token, it was completely fair launched. So I think that's another thing too that's like really interesting is we literally, deployed on pump. We're very clear from, the beginning about, Acidash, which is like the parent company holding 25 to 30% of the supply from like the initial launch, and like the rest of that has gone to the community. And I think that's something that makes us like really different. Did not have any sort of like supply control or things like that. Like we just wanted to do it as organic as we possibly could and literally deployed on pump. So I think it's really interesting. I think obviously like a lot of these projects have like supply control and like stuff like that. Like there's things that they can do in that regard. For us, we're really taking community first vision and really growing a very diverse holder base through people just buying on the open market. And I'm really excited about that because I think over time you start getting like very steady accumulation, a lot of strong hands, and it sets the project up with like a really strong foundation for the future. And we're gonna be building here for a long time, so we're excited about where things are going.
Awesome, Dom. That's all questions I had. I mean, I'm thrilled to have you on, Mateus. I know we've chatted for a while, and I'm glad we could finally land on a show. And when I was designing MOBY into the bar here, I was like, I needed something more than a logo, so I got it where the whale's jumping out of it. So
can't miss it.
Can't miss it.
I love it. No, huge fan of the show. You guys are crushing it. And yeah, I think this was great. So let me know when you guys have the final full copy. We'll tweet it, email it.
We'll clip it for sure.
It's awesome.
Sweet, man. Great conversation. Exciting to see Pump Fund innovating on the ICM space and you guys heading that up and leading. Great traction on the mobile app. I don't know, Mateus, maybe closing thoughts.
Yeah, really excited. Off to an incredibly strong start. Fantastic, first 2 weeks of the app. If you are not on the app yet, get on it. We have a limited time campaign where you get a deposit bonus directly to your rewards bar when you sign up and make your first deposit. Yeah, that deposit
code
bonus.
MCG.
Yeah, you sign up with the link. That deposit bonus is 100 plus directly to your progress bar. in MOBY. So people are loving it. Come in, deposit. You start off your progress bar with a juiced allocation. And if you have any feedback on the app, XDM works great, our live customer support, but we're here to come in and become a dominant player in the Solana trading space. And so far, all signals are pointing towards us being in the right direction. So very excited.
Bang.
Awesome.
And quick question, Mateus, just while we're on this topic. Do you guys plan to add some sort of like code people can just put in, or is it just going to be the link? I know some people are like nervous to click links.
Yeah. So right now, the plan is just the link. What I would say that's a little different than our link, again, you should always be careful, is our link, if you're on mobile, it will directly open the App Store. So like if you don't have the app and you click the link, you'll either open the Apple App Store or the Android App Store. So that's one thing, hopefully, to give people some peace of mind. We may add to a code paste model. I think it's something that we need to chat about with the team, but just so people are aware, if you see, it's always a invite.mobyscreener.com link, and if you click it on mobile, it will directly open the App Store, and then once you're in the App Store, you can easily confirm that it's the right app.
Yeah, just pause the video and literally type it in, guys. Honestly, it's the URL's right there, so you know you're safe as long as you type in that URL exactly.
Yeah.
Sweet deal. Mateus, man, always a pleasure.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Chat soon.
Buddy.
Take care.